And now, for the thrilling conclusion of Butcher Bird versus Codex. We actually are watching from Codex's perspective, who has now taken the Skaven Horde against Bretonnia for the final here. And though if you know, you know, the bell is very well, and it is leading the way here. We've got a bunch of globes also, which are basically like propping up the entire Skaven faction at this point, but that's a topic for another day. Doomflayers, Clan Rats, we've got some Rat Ogres, obligatory mass here. Doomflayers also are kind of obligatory mass. Wolf Rats out on the flanks, and then what's this? Knights the Lionhearted, and not more Knights of the Realm. We've got Field Trebuchet as well, one on each flank. I like the flanking Field Trebuchets, actually. Kind of splits your opponent, forces them to try and attack one side or the other, or attack both sides at the same time, which is not advisable. Battle Pilgrims and Defense of the Fleur-de-Lis. Let's get rolling. As the archers begin to let their presence be felt. I feel like the fire should do extra damage because that thing's made of wood, but let's not think, I mean, I guess it's like half made of stone. This entire upper part is stone and metal. Anyway, let's not think too hard about that. As we watch the battle start to unfold, globes are going to absolutely decimate everything that comes close within range to them. The archers, yeah, definitely should be focusing the globes as a primary target. Same thing with the trebuchets. Even though they're not that expensive, and you can bring so many of them, right, with the mix of death globes and poison winds. Are these all poison winds? All 5 poison winds? I guess, yeah, makes sense. But, yeah, they are extremely high damage, and you can already see the effect on the Bretonnian army. The Enchantress closes in with the Rat Ogres, and is going to try and fight her best here. Knights of the Realm get in combat. They're getting hit by that poison wind effect against the Doomflayers. They do get a little heal there. These Knights of the Realm managed to come in and crush some Wolf Rats. In the center, somehow the Battle Pilgrims managed to get through. Yeah, cut through that initial line of Clan Rats, at least in a couple instances, and now threaten the back line here. Poison Winds continuing to pull back as the Trebuchets fire downtown. Left flank of the Skaven was completely victorious, though, with the Rat Ogres, Poison Winds, Doomflayers working beautifully in tandem here. We'll watch from their perspective as this massive fight plays out. Absolutely units all over the place. And looks like the Natty Bubo's sharpshooters, who had been stalked even from myself, are going to be the next subject of Trebuchet Focus Fire. Very efficiently managed to score some hits there. Get them off the field. Ooh, yeah, that Grace here had also taken a ton of damage from those archers initially. Let's see if the Fae can capitalize on that and trigger a loss of leadership for the Skaven by taking out Grace here. Certainly easier said than done, but if it can be done, then that will be a huge benefit to Bretonnia. Skaven, of course, being famously low leadership, but there are a few ranged units remaining. I say few. They've still got some globes here, which can turn and shoot. Still got one completely healthy globe here. Rat Ogres also threatening, and the Trebuchets are now in a position to be compromised rather quickly. Yeah, we already see one Rat Ogre routing over there. Routing, not that kind of routing, but like rerouting. Get it? Anyway. Yeah, then the Fae Enchantress gets a little bit caught up here fighting the Doomflayers. Because the Fleur-de-Lis come to her aid. Will they be able to win there? Hard to say, but that Warp Lightning zapping through more Battle Pilgrims, and it's looking pretty good for the Skaven right now. They've managed to get a pretty good amount of control over the battlefield, with 2 trebuchets being shut down. The main kind of threat is neutralized. In fact, not even sure why the balanced power is still showing this even. Basically, the only thing for Bretonnia that's healthy and not routing is the Fae Enchantress herself. So we'll fast forward a little bit here as, yeah, this is not going to be, I'd imagine, going on for too much longer. I don't know, maybe Bretonnia rallies and makes a big comeback here. But I think it's rather unlikely. The Fae Enchantress, though, is going to maybe take out at least one of the Doomflayers here. Bubo's sharpshooters, a handful of them, managed to draw bead on her and are going to put a couple of shots downtown. We do see a little favor of the Fae, a little Earthblood there, healing them up, getting after those Doomflayers. Poison Wind Globes at close range, though, just ruin what's left of that unit of Bretonnian cavalry. Meanwhile, Knights of the Lionhearted here hammer home on this unit of Poison Winds and then immediately switch, but again, just absolutely devastating to be within range of Poison Globadiers, even for a single second. Yeah, that's pretty brutal stuff. Enchantress going to continue running around. I mean, a lot of things have been routed. If we look around at what the Skaven have, if it wasn't for like this unit of Rat Ogres right here and this unit of Poison Winds right here, I think that Bretonnia might actually not be in a terrible position with the Enchantress still having so much health herself. But the Rat Ogres plus the Gracier, Enchantress is not going to win that one, I don't think. She does kind of cut her charge at the last second over into the Rat Ogres directly. Ooh, is she going to try and force a little Comet here? Just drop a Comet directly on these Rat Ogres' heads? Please, please let it be so. Oh, they see the ruse. They're going to try and maneuver out of the way, and the roll of the Comet. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Comet doesn't actually drop on the template. It kind of has like a dice roll mechanic where it will shift a certain distance and direction away. So there, that actually directly screws over the Enchantress. If it would have shifted the other way, then, and it lands directly on that unit of Rat Ogres, that actually probably swings the fight for Bretonnia. Instead, we got a Summon Stormvermin and Halberd, and that's game. Which I guess if he had that in his back pocket, he probably could have just went with that anyway, even if the Comet does land on the Rat Ogres. But we can all dream, right? Codex taking home the win there with a crushing Skaven build, just smothering the Peasants of Bretonnia here. It was quite the bloody battle, just huge loss counts on both sides. Almost 2,000 casualties total. That's pretty crazy. But anyway, I like the pick of the Battle Pilgrims here, even if raw value-wise, they didn't all necessarily pay out. One of them did. But yeah, Archers, just nice combined arms, Bretonnia build. Hard to really criticize too much. Yeah, just the Poison Winds are just that strong. 1,000, 1,300. That one gets killed. 750 and 625. With the 90 Booba Sharpshooters also contributing 890. So just the power of those weapons seems so much. Rat Ogres supporting. Some people think they should nerf Rat Ogres. I definitely don't. I mean, there's a reason you see them in every Skaven build, and it's not necessarily because they're that good. I mean, they definitely can be good when used appropriately, but you just have to have them. You have to have some kind of mass to be able to stop up your opponent's cavalry. Same thing with the Flayers. They're better in different circumstances, but can somewhat fulfill a similar role of just having some mass. And you need some of them. I would say 4 in total, maybe 2 and 2, 1 and 3, something like that. Some combination, or just 4 of a single one. But you definitely need 4 mass pieces, especially against the faction like Bretonnia, which is known for bringing heavy cavalry. So, big problem. The Enchantress manages to get some good value on her own. And then, yeah, the Archers, yeah, we covered them a little bit already, and they're pretty good stuff. The Knights of the Realm, one of them gets some good value, and some of them struggle somewhat. But the Trebuchet is also a nice piece to have. Ultimately, though, yeah, that initial focus on the Gracier from the Archers, like, I don't know if they are able to just focus the globes initially instead. I don't know, with those couple of volleys they got there, would have made that much of a difference at the end of the day. But, yeah. On the topic of globes, should they get nerfed? Yes, probably. Would that require just a rework of some of the other design parameters of the Skaven? I do think so. I think you would have to maybe look at some of their other units and their effectiveness, like slingers and other things, and try and kind of bring them into line where they should be. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.